Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit or Gabi here, back again with Attack on Titan Season 4. First things first, sorry for the long wait for any video. I believe it's 2 weeks, or at least coming up on 2 weeks since my last video. The reason for that was because I just needed a break. Life has been really kicking me in the nuts recently, so just everything. It felt like everything was just piling up, and it was getting to me a lot. So I decided that I would take some time off just to refresh, so that when I came back and restarted the whole thing up again, that it would go smoothly. Okay, so that is the hope. Anyway, so yeah, that was the reason for that. Now, we left off in episode 12. Okay, which means that we need to react to episode 13, which came out 2 weeks ago. I heard that they had delayed last week's episode. So that's come out today, or well, as of recording this, it would have been last night, alongside what would have been episode 15. So they brought out both of those at the same time. So what I'm going to do is react to all of these, hopefully today. We'll see. I may need to, sort of just do two and then record the episode 15 tomorrow. But the idea is that hopefully, episode 13 will come out today. Okay, obviously you're watching this video, it's episode 13. Tomorrow, episode 14, and then the day after that, episode 15. Okay, and then everything should fall back into line, going, carrying on with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And all of that. Okay, so hopefully that all goes to plan. But yeah, so in the last episode, it was a very interesting one because Eren has now broke out of prison, and there's kind of this now insurgent group called the Jaegerists, which it's got Flock as a part of it and all of that, and we still don't know the reasons as to why Eren is going. Why is Eren the way that he is right now? Whether it's got things to do with Zeke and all of that, we haven't got the minute details as to why that is happening. And of course it's starting to really kind of irk the scouts, so Hanji and all of that, having to take responsibility for stuff that Eren's doing and everything. And they are on their way, I believe, to certain establishments like the restaurant where Niccolo is, which is also where Gabi and Falco are right now with Sasha's family. And also the last thing we saw before the episode ended was that Piek was already there. Okay, so I assumed to some degree the other ones are as well. But we'll have to just wait and see what happens with that. But yeah, so the Premier, Zachary, he died. He got blown up. There was a bomb in the chair that he had that was supposed to be used, I guess, to keep a hold of Eren while they, basically. I mean, because they were searching for candidates to take over Eren, right? And they were doing it behind the scouts' back. So there's just a lot of infighting right now at the moment, which is not the best time for it, and that's the thing that it comes down to, is time at the end of the day. And I think that's the main motivation as to why Eren is acting the way that he is. But we'll see what happens with that when we get into this next episode. So yeah, nothing else to really talk about, so we're going to get in episode 13. As always, the reaction will be here on YouTube. But if for whatever reason it gets taken down for copyright in the future, I will re-upload this as a discussion-only video, and the reaction will be with the link in the description. And as always, the link to the full-length reaction to this episode is in the description as well. So if you want to watch this episode in full, and not just the cut 10-minute version, then the offer is there for you. But yes, nothing else to really talk about, so we're going to get in episode 13 of Season 4, see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay. Where are we at right now? What's going on here?
そのガスは俺の脊髄液を含んでいる。体
What?
の自由が奪われ、意識を失う。
Is this how he
あとは俺
transforms?
が命令するだけで、道を通じて巨人の力が座標に送り込まれる。
He uses
だから
gas
そ
to
の
do
村の巨
that.
人は俺の命令通りに動くってわけだ。
お前が皆殺しにした村の名前だろ。覚えておけクソヒゲ。お前が耳かすほどの罪悪感も覚えちゃいねえってことがよくわかる。
Definitely doesn't seem that way, does it?
知らねえが、当の人命に興味がねえのは確かだ。
いつまでも時間があると思っているなら間違いだと伝えろ。
それだけは同じ意
Here
見
we'll go with there. Time. Children of the Forest. I'm guessing Gabi's surprised that
ようこそいらしてくださいました。
a Malian works in such a big establishment, you know.
あの人がブラウスさんを招いたマーレ人のニコロさん。あの人を頼ってみて。ブラウスさんは兵士でもないのになんでここに招待されたの？お墓に来てくれたニコロさんがお姉ちゃんに食べてもらうはずだった料理を振る舞わせてほしいって。
The Kaya thought that. It's going. The truth's gonna come out, man, soon. It feels like Falco had figured something out there, but
ニコロ、お前に客だぞ。こんな時に誰だ？お前らか。どうした？休養か？俺は今大事なお客さんの相手で忙しいんだ。
義勇兵が拘束された件だ。聞き取り調査に協力してくれ。
ああ。
Yankabon coming right out with this.
これは兵団内で噂のワインか。何でも上官たちしか飲めねえって話らしいけど。本当にそうだ。
Wow, okay. That's
ちょっとふざけただけじゃねえか。これはエルディア人にはもったいない代物なんだよ。何人だとかどうとか関係ねえだろ、酒に。触んな、エルディア人。慣れ慣れしいんだよ。ちょっと親しくしたぐらいで。
Okay, I wasn't expecting Niccolo to think that way.
どうしたんだあいつ。
今だ。
トイレに行けば助かるかもしれない。
私もお兄ちゃんを助けられるかもしれない。
I need to know what it's about.
トイレはこっちじゃないよ。
トイレに用はありません。ニコロさん。
私たちはマーレから来ました。戦士候補生です。
は？ちょっと待ってくれ。どうして戦士候補生がここにいるんだ？
レベリオクが島の悪魔どもに奇襲を受けたんです。私たちは退却する敵の飛行船に飛び乗ったままこの島に上陸しました。
誰か。
Oh shit.
女の兵士を。
This is it. It's coming out. It's coming out.
はい、仕留めました。私たちの故郷で駐輪した報復はこれからです。はい、気をつけ。
God, she's got no awareness, has she?
お前がサシャを殺したのか。
Fucking! Oh, Jesus Christ, Falco! He used that bottle on her as well. Fucking hell, man. Fuck. Oh, shit.
サシャを殺したのはこいつです。あなたの娘さんの命を奪いました。
Oh, God.
ガキですが、厳しく訓練されたマーレの兵士です。
娘。
ブラウスさん、どうぞ。
大変だ。来てくれみんな。
Oh, shit.
何？
Armin's here. So that they've.
サシャを撃ったガキ。
This is the first time they've
お
set.
前何しようとしてんだ。おい、やるな。それ。ただサシャの敵を撃つだけだ。そこを動くな。
ファルコは違うの。
お前の大事な人が、俺にも大事な人がいた。エルディア人だ。悪魔の末裔だ。だが彼女は誰よりも俺の料理をうまさまに食った。このクソみたいな戦争から俺を救ってくれたんだ。
Niccolo doesn't want anything to do with the wolf.
お前に奪われた彼女の名前だ。
私だって大事な人たちを殺された。そのサシャ・ブラウスに撃ち殺された。
知るかよ、どっちが先とか。
目を覚まして。あなたはマーレの兵士でしょ。きっとその悪魔の女に惑わされてる。悪魔なんかに負けないで。
ニコロ君、包丁を渡しなさい。
I don't see Sasha's father like actually going to kill her, you know.
そこまでです。ブラウスさん。刃物を置いてください。
サシャは狩人やった。それが俺らの生き方やったからや。
I remember.
で、世界はつながり、兵士になったサシャはよその土地
Oh, he's blaming himself for like sending her out. That like.
世界は命に奪い合いを続ける巨大な森の中やったんや。サシャが殺されたんは森をさまようたからやと思ってる。せめて子供たちはこの森から出してやらんといかん。
Huh.
そうやないと また同じところをぐるぐる回るだけやろ。だから過去の罪や憎しみを背負うのは我々大人の責任や。
Oh, he's such a good dude, man.
怪我を見せて。
ミア、大丈夫か？
私が憎くない。
Oh! Fucking hell, poor Kaya, man.
すっかりメインが冷めちまったな。ハンジさん、そのガキの口をゆすいでやってくれ。あのワインが入っちまった。手遅れだと思う。
What is this wine all about?
あのワインには何が入っていたの？
Oh, of course! I didn't even fucking think!
脊髄液だ。
Shit!
ザックレイが殺された。
はい。今壁内は実質的にイエーガー派によって支配されていま
He's
す。
going, oh my god, he can end up turning to a Titan anytime Zeke will...
エレナを介して実行した一連の工作ではないかと考えられています。
エ
Damn.
レンの命を何度も救った。その度に何人もの仲間が死んだ。それが人類が生き残る希望だと信じて、まるでひでえ冗談だな。俺たちが見てた希望ってのは一体何だったんだ。
Oh, it was a long time ago.
死闘の結果がこの茶番だと巨人に食わせるべきクソ野郎は他にいる。
どういうことだ？ワインにジークの脊髄液が入ってるって。確証はない。ただこのワインは第1回調査船から大量に積まれていた。織人としての立場が安定してきた頃に、
So everyone's got it in them,
こ
like,
のワインを兵団組織高
so
官
that
が
when
優
he
先して振る舞うよう
when it's been served to like pretty much everyone, he can just scream and they'll all become Titans.
イエレナだ。
でもおかしいだろ。ジークの脊髄液を飲んだエルディア人は
If it's in
硬直するん
gas
だろ。
form, not
ジ
to...
ークがそう言っただけだ。誰もその現場を見たわけじゃないから確かめようがない。硬直という前兆が見られなければ脊髄液を盛られたという発想すらしない。
マーレ兵なら知っている。ジークの脊髄液が今までどんな使われ方をし
So
た
this isn't something that would work with any other person's
10
spinal
年ほど前
fluid.
マーレは敵国の首都を一晩で落とした。で
Christ.
あの怪しいワインを兵団のお偉方に飲ませなきゃいけないのか。俺には分かんねえけどな。お前、さっき俺からあのワインを取り上げた。
Yeah. I thought there was a weird...
こんなことばらしちまったら長生きなんてできねえだろうに。あなたみたいにはまだ俺はなれないけど、これがせめてもの償いになれば子供を殺すなんてどうかしてました。
ニカル君、
あんたたちの大切な仲間を殺したのは私。看守を石でめった打ちにしたのも私。殺さないよ。私を殺したくて仕方ないんでしょ。
Almonds never wanted to kill anyone.
君はそればっかりだね。誰かとそっくりだ。
Aaron. Fucking hell, he's just walked in, dude. Oh, fuck's sake. He's doing the same thing he did with Raina, dude.
ハンジ団長、
フロック。
その申し出は断りました。我々は兵団と交渉しない。エレンの判断です。ピクシス司令は我々に島の命運を委ねるような賭けはしない。
フロック、聞くんだ。私たちは仲間同士で争い合っている場合じゃない。
Oh, shit.
ジークの脊髄液が混入したワインが兵団内で振る舞われた。
So they were already in on
あんた
it.
たちワインのこと知ってたの？
Jesus, fuck. Oh, man.
先に行くぞ。
Yeah, he's just got them in that, like...
お前らと話がしたくてな。
Fucking hell. Oh, man. This could blow up at any time. Okay, episode 13. Bloody hell. This can really just go south, like, so quickly now. And I'm going to guess that it is. Probably next episode, because we've only got episode 14, 15, and 16 left, right? The last episode is next week. I don't know how they're going to wrap it up in an hour's worth. How would they do that? How are they going to do that? I just don't see how they're going to do it. I mean, I know that like at the very beginning of season 4, I remember them saying that was going to be like just 16 episodes and then decide what they would do from there. That like maybe they could wrap up everything in a movie afterwards, or whatever, or some kind of epilogue episode maybe, I don't know, but it's literally an hour. We've got an hour left after this, and that's it. So fuck, right, I mean, where do we start? Okay, so the big thing was that we've now officially gotten the details we need of Zeke's plan, which is that he's trying to... I mean, we don't know the end goal, but we know what he was doing, and that he was distributing his spinal fluid through wine in Nicolo's restaurant to give to the higher MPs. So maybe it's a case of like, because obviously the Jaegerists were in on it, right? So they already know about what was happening with that. And that maybe it's a case of they think that everyone who is, you know, like, essentially like, you know, everyone who are MPs are kind of like not needed in a way. And they're going to be used essentially as, you know, as weapons, because at any point Zeke can just scream and turn them all into Titans. And that the idea is that the Jaegerists become essentially the sole inhabitants of Paradise. So it's kind of like just, there is just one way that they're going about it. There is no negotiations from the Jaegerist side. It's just, that is what it is. The only negotiations that are going to happen is between Eren and Armin and Mikasa, by the looks of it. It seems as though Eren's going to tell them what's going on. And hopefully, I guess, bring them to his side, or let them know so that they're prepared, so that they can get to safety or anything like that. But it's interesting, like, how, like, the similarities between what is about to happen with the talk between, you know, Eren, Armin, and Mikasa, that it was with Eren and Reiner. Because, you know, like, back then it was Falco who was listening in, and now Gabi's kind of in there to listen as well. You know, so it's to get that, like, a perspective of everything that is happening. And because Eren is there, depending on how much he actually goes into detail about what's going on with, you know, Zeke and everything like that, this could be Gabi's, because she's been wanting the truth, I guess, for what Zeke's plan is. Like, what is Zeke up to? Why has he done what he has? The only thing being is that she wanted to hear it directly from Zeke, but God, it's mad how, like, it's I never thought, like, it would get to this point, you know. It's crazy how things have, like, devolved to a degree that Paradise are, like, split. I thought it was just going to be I thought it was just going to be essentially one side versus another, right? And that's just kind of what it was going to be. I didn't know there was going to be, like, these intricacies of, like, what they were going to do, you know. I suppose the one thing was that Armin was never wanting to fight, so that would be, you know, there would obviously be some, you know, drama having to go in with that, but it's crazy how it becomes, like the amount of characters that, you know, are so different in the way that they see things. Specifically, like, you know, especially in this episode, Nicolo, because at one point he did just hate the Island Devils like every other Malian does. but when he came over and he saw, you know, how Sasha and, you know, like loved his food so much that he just had this, you know, this love for, you know, for being a chef, that war and everything like that just became so like inane to him. Like it's pointless. He doesn't want to be a part of it, you know, in any way. So he's like just like the true, like, you know, neutral. Which, if only all the characters were like that, you know, then wouldn't have to deal with all this war and shit. But yeah, that's the way that it is. So yeah, the truth did come out. And yeah, I knew that it would. It was coming to a head. It came very fucking quick. And the thing is, Gabi's got like no awareness of like anything. Like Falco knew something was up when, like, before they even went down to the basement, and they were talking about, you know, someone that he cared about died, and that, you know, he was at a grave and everything like that. That like Falco, like, it's like he had an epiphany, like, oh shit, you know, he had that then. Right? Never mind, like, going all the way into the basement, and then, like, you know, Gabi's just going out and saying, like, yeah, damn right, I killed somebody. You know, and then, as fucking seems to always happen, Falco gets dragged up in her mess. Oh, fuck's sake, man. It's like Falco, man, he's just too much of a good kid. You know, like, he just takes like fucking like beatings constantly, and now it's bad, like, because he's been hit with that wine bottle. So that's what the wine was all about. Yeah, I thought there was something up about, like, the way that Niccolo was acting around Jean and stuff, and basically saying, like, you know what I mean, it's wasted on Eldians and everything, and, like, trying to put forth that, like, hatred argument so that it's, like, it gives him an excuse for them not to drink the bottle, right? Because he does actually care about them, you know? So, yeah, that was really cool. I thought there was something up with that, because, yeah, I mean, Niccolo I never pegged for, you know, one. I mean, he was like that very early on, but once the change had happened and, like, you know, everything that, like, obviously with Sasha and everything, that's when his change was there, you know. And so yeah, really, really cool. But I like how he didn't even hesitate to almost sacrifice his friendship with people he cared about just so that he could protect them with that. I just thought that was cool. So yeah, he hits Falco over the head. I feel like next episode, that's when it's going to like, you know, drop. It's going to be Zeke's going to scream, and there's going to be Titans running around again on Paradise. And Falco is possibly going to become, I mean, well, he will if Zeke screams, right? I couldn't tell if there was like a, you know, like I mean, there must be some distance that needs, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think you can be like on the other side of the planet and scream, and everyone that has ever ingested or inhaled anything with Zeke's spinal fluid in would change. Like, they have that. I'm guessing they have to be within range to hear it, essentially, right? But pretty much from episode 1, like, I pegged this idea that Falco would be the one to take over a Titan at some point, right? So I feel like this is the beginning of that, because now he's in a Titan like, you know, he's in danger, and at any moment, once he becomes a Titan, like, he's gonna have to eat somebody else who is a Titan shifter, and the question is, who is that going to be? Like, I could have I could have images of, like, because I remember seeing, like, I could see, like, at the end, maybe Falco's the one to take, you know, be the next coordinate and everything like that. So he basically would eat Eren, and that would be like at the end of the story. But the way that, I don't know, like his sort of relationship that he has with Reiner, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets Reiner's either, I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, I mean, aside from obviously the spinal fluid and the wine, he go like at the very beginning of the episode, he goes into the thing that he was using gas, and that's how Ragako, Connie's village, was taken over. There was always that like question, like it's so long ago, it's season 2, so it's like in the first couple episodes that were like, well, what the hell's happened here? Because there's no holes in the wall or anything like that. But that's how he's slightly able to control them to a degree, even after the fact, right? Like, the orders kind of slightly work, but it's not like 100%. It's because it's basically passed down from his spinal fluid that he's able to do that. But then you would think that any injection that has been given to anyone, depending on whose spinal fluid it was taken from, they would have the same amount of control that Zeke would have. Although no, because I would think that it's different with the way Zeke does it, right? Because he has the royal blood. Of course, I'm a fucking idiot. Completely disregard that. Disregard that. So yeah, the episode title "Children of the Forest" makes a hell of a lot more sense now. When Sasha's father came out, like, with a knife and everything like that, I said that he's not the kind of character that would actually go ahead and kill Gabi, kill anyone really for that matter. Just the strength of will that you must, you know what I mean? But the fact of like, he takes sins on his shoulders of those that are around at the time. So, this is the difference, I think, the stark difference between what Malians have told like people like Gabi and everything to believe that like that they need to pay for the sins of their ancestors that have nothing to do with them, but that what Sasha's father was going on about was like more so like we need to hold the sins of as adults to bring these children upright, kids who are there right now, like people that you can actually teach and educate and bring them up to not be vengeful fucking monsters. So yeah, I just feel like the willpower. Of course, Kaya is the one that lost it, which it makes sense. God, it's just like that juxtaposition of everything like coming around from when Sasha saved her in the first place, like where she was completely dead-eyed, like you know what I mean? Like there was just no emotion there. It might as well have been just a might as well have just been a blank face back then, to now where she like that rage just completely took over, and she was that close, that fucking close, damn. But at some point the cycle of revenge has to stop, so as much as I don't really like Gabi, there has to be some stopping point, and if it has to be, of course, Sasha's family to be the one, to be that crux to stopping it, because they are just really amazing people, then so be it. I think this is the first time I've actually truly seen like a break in what Gabi's like ideology has been, I don't see her having another. I don't see her having another outburst of, you know, all of these fucking ideals that she's grown up with. I don't see her having that after this point. You know, sometimes things have to break in order to be, you know, fixed. Let's put it that way. And so we'll see. What else? Oh yeah, right, yeah. So Eren shows up, pre-cut, of course, and that's, you know, like, you know, when I was talking before about the similarities of everything that happened with Reiner beforehand, it is like that sort of just like last kind of resort thing, but it's like it's a negotiation type tactic based upon like using, you know, like his enemies, but in this case it's not his enemies, right? But, you know, like, it's like a hostage situation almost, you know what I mean? It's like the equivalent of holding them at gunpoint almost, you know. It's that kind of thing where it's just, you know, it's like that. I mean, I don't think that's the way that it obviously is going to go down between Eren, Armin, and Mikasa. Depending on how Armin and Mikasa kind of respond to whatever Eren's going to talk about, but yeah, God. I don't know how this is going to go down, because it's almost like you've got three sides now. You've got like the Jaegerists and Zeke and everything they're doing. You've got the warriors from Mali who are over here, at least Pierre is, and then you've got the, you know, the scouts. So you've got, you know, like Hanji, Jean, Mikasa, and Armin obviously on that as well. Levi. It just could devolve into like a three-way battle, because the warriors didn't know about what Zeke was doing either. So there's like, you know, but maybe this is where it could wrap up then, but this is the thing, like, as soon as like a flip is switched, I feel like chaos will ensue. But it could be like if the scouts find a common enemy in Zeke and Eren, like with, you know, with the warriors, and then, you know, so it's basically Paradis and Mali for like the first time truly like teaming up. Then maybe they can find that common ground, and that's how peace is achieved. That's the only way I can kind of, and maybe that's like, I don't know, maybe like to some degree I hope that this is what Eren would think. If this is how it's going to go down, then maybe it is like, it could be a similar thing to I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but I'm just going to hold my hand up, right? So if you don't want to hear me say what it's similar to, then mute the video, right? And I'll basically, I'll put my hand down when I stop talking about it, okay? So yeah, you've got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think it's similar. It could be similar to like Code Geass with Lelouch, and how he basically sacrifices himself for the good of the world, you know? And if this is Eren's plan, I don't know if it would be Zeke's plan, but, you know, I would like to think that Eren is making himself a martyr, like making himself a true like villain that needs to be stopped, where the, you know, it basically forces Paradis and Mali to actually see some, like, to get some common ground, you know, and maybe that is the case. But, you know, we will see. We will see. Anyway, yes. So welcome back. If you did have to mute yourself there, but yeah. So other than that, of course, with Eren being there, the Jaegerists were there as well, and Flock with that evil fucking look, man. I knew there was something about him, like ever since, like way back when he sort of showed up. I've never liked him. There's always been something like niggling at the back of my head about Flock, and I think this is where it's kind of been truly confirmed for me that, like, I don't know how much Flock really, like, believes in whatever the plan is, more so than he's just on this side because he enjoys it, like, it seems like he could be like a sadistic bastard, you know what I mean? So, well, that's just the impression that I get of him. Let me know if you feel the same way, but yeah, I feel like you might just enjoy it. So yeah, and then lastly, we'll continue on with what the Jaegerists were talking about with Hanji and whatnot, but basically thinking that Pixis would try and find a candidate for Eren and basically continue on what Premier Zachary was doing, which, I mean, we know from last episode that that's not what Pixis said. But whether or not that is just a thing that he was putting out as an affront, but I don't get what he would benefit from doing that. Because none of the Jaegerists were there to hear what Pixis had said at that point. So maybe it's more of just like using it as an excuse to go against them, maybe. But yeah, who knows? And then lastly, what I want to talk about is Levi. So Levi's, obviously keeping an eye on Zeke so that he can, take him out at any time if he gets out of line. But yeah, basically when the plan was, when he found out about it, all those images like in the back of his head, like all of this time he's been protecting Eren, only to get what was it all for if now it's like I've been protecting this guy the whole time, only for it to come to he's becoming an enemy. It's like all of it was for nothing. Like all the casualties were supposed to be for Eren to be the savior, and now it's like he's not. So yeah, that's it's crazy. It all feels like, from Levi's point of view, that it was all just for fucking nothing, really. It seemed for a long time that they were gaining something, like they were heading towards something that could mean like peace at last, that like all of the deaths were not in vain, because they managed across all of the, since the very beginning of the show, they've managed to push back and push back to the point where they eradicated all the Titans from the island, that they didn't have to actually use the walls as a way to keep anything out. And then of course, learning what they learned, it all just it's like it's something that like never stopped, and now that it's a big worldwide situation, it just becomes a clusterfuck again. It's like fucking hell. It's like just like never catch a break. So it just, the cycle's about to repeat. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think maybe the idea of Eren sacrificing himself, I feel like making himself a martyr, making himself a villain, so that Paradis and Marley can find common ground, and then therefore peace will be achieved. That's basically the theory of how I think they could wrap this up at this point, but we'll just wait and see. But anyway, yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. Sorry if I missed anything. Generally I'll miss like a couple things and whatnot, but yeah, hopefully I got everything that you know, people want to hear me talk about. But anyway, yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. In the description below, I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards there, like early access. Gives you access to shows a week early. There is the full-length tier, which gives you access to the full-length reactions of the shows. And then there's the exclusive tier, which gives you access to reactions, the full-length reactions for movies and things like that, okay? So if you're into, you know, like watching reactions to movies and stuff, that's the one for you. But anyway, yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.